Today we are going to learn about factorization by grouping under the chapter of algebraic manipulation. First, we'll start with factorization of common terms. We learned in basic algebra that 9p plus 5p is equals to 14p. To factorize common terms, we are simply dividing out factors that are common for each term. So here we have two terms, 9p and 5p. The common factor is actually p. So to factorize, we will divide out the p, and 9p divided by p, we will be left with a 9. Next, we have the operation plus, and next, 5p divided by p, we will have 5. And therefore, we have 14p as well. Now we will factorize out the expression 20 plus 15p. The common factors come from these two numbers, 20 and 15. And the common factor is 5. So we will divide out the 5. 20 divided by 5 will give us 4. The operation is plus. 15p divided by 5 will give us 3p. And that's how we factorize out the common term. So what are the common factors for this expression? We will circle out the common factors of each term, and in this case, it is only b. So to factorize out the common term, we will divide by b. 7bc divided by b is 7c. The operation is minus, and the next term bf divided by b is simply f. And that's the answer. Next, we'll factorize 20x squared minus 8xy. We know that 20x squared is 20 multiplied by x multiplied by x, and 8xy is 8 multiplied by x multiplied by y. So what are the common factors? We have common factor from 20 and 8, and that will be 4. And we have the common factor of x. So the common factor is 4x. 20x squared divided by 4x will give us 5x. We have the operation of subtraction, and we will have 8xy divided by 4x, and that will give us 2y. This next example is one of the steps for factorization by grouping. Can you spot what is the common factor here? Since both terms multiply by this same factor, 5p plus 2q is our common factor. And we will divide by 5p plus 2q for each of the term. So the first term, when we divide by 5p plus 2q, we will have 2x left. The operation is plus. For this term, when we divide by 5p plus 2q, we will have 3 remaining. And that's how we factorize out the common term for this slightly longer expression. You can pause the video now and factorize out the common factor for this expression. Now that we learn how to factorize by taking out common factors, we will perform factorization by grouping. There will always be 4 terms. A simple way of doing this is to look at the first 2 terms and the last 2 terms. Make sure that the terms have common factor, otherwise we will have to look at different pairing. So the first pair here, the common factor is h, and the last 2 terms here, the common factor is k. So we will divide the first 2 terms by h, and we will have p minus q. We will divide the last 2 terms by k, and we will have p minus q as well. So we note that This is plus Kp, and we will need to have the operation plus in the middle. Now we have left with two terms, and the common factor is P minus Q. For the first term, when you divide by P minus Q, we are left with a H. Then there is a plus operation. And for the second term, when we divide by P minus Q, we are left with a K. And that's how we factorize by grouping. To factorize out this next expression, we will simply pair the first two terms and the last two terms, and making sure that each pair has a common factor. The highest common factor for the first two terms is 3a, and the highest common factor for the last two terms is 4b. So each pair has a common factor. To take out the common factor 3a, we'll simply divide 3ax by 3a, and we'll have x left. The operation is plus 9ay divided by 3a is 3y. For the next two terms, do not worry about the sign yet. So just simply do 4bx divided by 4b, we'll have x. 12dy divided by 4b, we will have 3y. So what sign should I put here and here? One easy way is to look at the first bracket. For the first bracket, it is x plus 3y. So this bracket must also be x plus 3y. How do I get negative 4bx? In order to have negative 4bx, the sign in the middle here must be minus. So just to do a quick check, yes, we have negative 4bx and negative 12by. So once again, the trick is to make sure that the two brackets have the exact same terms and the same operation. For the last step, we are now going to take out the common factors. So we have two terms left. The common factor is x plus 3y. So for the first term, when we divide by x plus 3y, we'll be left with 3a. The operation is a minus. And for the second term, when we divide by x plus 3y, we will have 4b. And that's how we factorize by grouping. We'll look at a different example with different signs. So let's try to pair up the first two terms and the last two terms as per normal, and checking whether they have common factors. So 7ax and 21x, that's common factor of 7x. And that's the highest common factor. 4a and 12, the highest common factor is 4. So we will factorize out 7x. And the first term, divided by 7x, we will have a. The operation is minus. The second term, 21x divided by 7x is 3. For the next part, do not worry about the signs yet. Just factorize out the 4. 4a divided by 4 is a. 12 divided by 4 is 3. Now remember we say that the brackets must have the same term and the same sign. So we will have a minus 3. How do we get negative 4a here? So the operation in the middle should also be a minus in order to get negative 4a. And here we will have minus multiplied by minus give you plus 12. And we are on the right track. Once again, make sure that the two brackets have the same term and the same sign. In the next step here, we have two terms left. And the common factor is a minus 3. By now, you should realize that, okay, the first term we will have 7x left, and then we'll have an operation minus, and the second term we'll have 4 left. And that's how we do factorization by grouping. Let's look at this next example here. We will pair them up like this as per normal. So v plus 1, there seems to be no common factors except for 1. bv minus b, that's a higher common factor of b. So we will take out the common factor of 1 here first, and v divided by 1 is simply v. The operation is a plus. 1 divided by 1 is still 1. Next, do not worry about the sign, but let's carry out the factorization. bv divided by b, we will have v. b divided by b, we will have 1. Once again, make sure that the terms and the sign are exactly identical. So the operation here will be v plus 1. What should be the operation in the middle? Because we have a minus bv, the operation in the middle should be a minus. After taking out the common factor for the last step, we will have v plus 1 as the common factor. So the first term divided by v plus 1, we will have 1. The operation is a minus. The last term divided by v plus 1, we will have b. And hence, we have completed the factorization by grouping for this example. For this last example, we will try to pair them up in this manner. So as usual, we will pair the first two terms and the last two terms. The first two terms, the highest common factors will be 2x. The only common factor for 3a minus b seems to be 1 again. So we will factorize out 2x by having 6ax divided by 2x. That will give us 3a. The operation is minus. 4bx divided by 2x is 2b. Again, do not worry about the sign, but let's just do the factorization. 3a divided by 1 will be 3a. Do not worry about the sign. 2b divided by 1 will be 2b. Remember, we say that the two brackets must have the same sign. So we will have 3a minus 2b. Now, how do we get plus 3a? So we must have a plus here so that we get plus 3a. So to take out the common factor 3a minus 2b, we will be left with 2x plus 1. And this is the last example, okay, for the factorization by grouping. You can once again pause the video now and try out the factorization by grouping for these next 4 examples. In this video, we have learned how to factorize by taking out common factors and factorization by grouping for expressions with 4 terms. Okay, thank you for watching the video.